How's everyone today? Welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a good Thursday and a good week. Crown Me Sewing is here. Good morning. Sarah is here. Nancy is here. Shelly's here. What's everybody got going on today? So make sure you read the show notes. Just tap that little sticky note thing in the corner, the left corner of your screen, left upper corner. And if you have any questions, things that you want to discuss, put them in chat with a question mark and we can talk about them. Sarah is making a king size quilt. Awesome. How far along are you? That's very exciting to be working on something productive. Crown is making headbands. Nice. My serger has been out. I don't quilt that much. I just don't have time or space. But I do love to sew, and I mostly make bags, baskets, and other types of things. And my serger is out. And I have not, other than a few things on just my regular sewing machine, I haven't done a whole lot lately. And it's hurting me. Not liking it. I just can't decide what to do about my serger because it's been a good serger. I like it, but it's hard to thread. So I'm kind of wanting a new one that has air threading or a lot easier to thread. But I just can't decide what I want. So if you have any tips about serging, a good serger, let me know. Squaring it up and binding. Ooh, so you're like near the end. That's exciting. You'll have to share pictures. Dear, welcome in. Carrie's here. How's everyone today? Please read the show notes. If you have any questions, put them in chat and I can help you with whatever you need. Hopefully, well, I can't solve all your problems. I can try and help you on whatnot. Let's put it that way. All the other stuff, I am no good. Well, I shouldn't say I'm no good, but probably not the right place or time to help you with all the other stuff we all have going on. Welcome in, Gail and Mick, Mulaney, and Julie. So, what does everyone who is here? I know I've got a couple of people here in sewing and crafts. Tell me what you sell and what what category you sell in and what kind of things you're doing. So share in chat, or if you're wanting to sell, what you're wanting to sell in. So this is my seller chat. I'm Dana. I'm here on the treadmill. I do this every Tuesday and Thursday morning. I just decided a couple of years ago that I would get on here and walk, and I would just be on the app watching other people's shows or shopping. So I had the thought, why don't I just go live and help other people, save myself some money, and give it back my time to help other people be successful on the platform. So that's what I do every Tuesday and Thursday morning while I walk. So I'm not in front of the camera, and I can't show you everything, but I can definitely guide you. And I have a lot of information in the show notes, and in my shop, I have a ton of information. So if you click the shop button and go to the auction tab, all the items in there are tips and trick sheets about all different topics. Some of them are things I put together. Some of them are things that are official whatnot guides that they gave us as the community hosts to share with all of you. So make sure you go through the auction tab and look at those. So Raquel sells, I'm probably not saying it right, Raquel sells in women's clothing, but this weekend I'm going to have a graphic t-shirt show. Awesome. Sherry says, I'm gathering all the basics, lights, printers, and things, and then we'll sign up for selling fabric and vintage antiques. Nice. Nice. So the show that we're doing next Wednesday evening, it is our official monthly community host show. And the topic for that show is kind of the background of how to get your show set up. So show setup and production. So make sure you have this show right here bookmarked. And we will be in front of the camera for that show. And what I'm doing for that show is I am gathering tips from all different sellers in my category of fabric and crafts and sewing and all that. And I'm going to share with you a bunch of different things that other sellers do behind the scenes. So the equipment they use, the tips they gave for how they run a show, so that you can get a bunch of different ideas. Because here's the thing with Whatnot, no one formula works for every person. It just depends on, if you sell with someone, by yourself, if you have room to do all of this in one place or not. It just depends on your setup, your abilities, what you're comfortable with. And so I felt like I could show what I do, but it may not necessarily translate for what will work for you. So I wanted to give you a bunch of different ideas from a bunch of sellers. So I reached out to a ton of sellers and got some ideas from everybody. So that's what we're doing that night. So make sure you have that show bookmarked. And Whimsy says, if you guys want something for Easter, check out my nightly shows and raid trains for beatable pens and keychains. So lots of cute stuff in Whimsy's show. All right. You're also doing a favorite movies raid train tomorrow morning, and you're going to be selling movie themed pens and keychains. That's such a fun idea. A movie themed raid train. I like that. Very cool. All right. So tell me the things that you're struggling with. What is something that you really feel like you need help improving in your shows? And that will kind of guide our discussion today. So, what are the things that you're struggling with? What do you need help with? I have, different tips and tricks to help you brainstorm what you can do to improve different processes. So, Sherry says, I haven't figured out how to hook up the phone and laptop or tablet for running the show yet. So, you just have the app on all the devices that you want to use. So, like, for example, right now, I'm streaming from this phone that you see. And then I have this iPad also connected to the show. And then I have a secondary phone that I use so that when I'm using the iPad to show stuff, I can still see the chat. So I have 3 devices right now. How do I manage that? It's very simple. You go live from the device that you're streaming from. So I stream from the phone, and most people, that will be your most successful device to stream from because it has the best camera and is the most portable and gives you the best graphics, view. So use the phone. You may, if you have a really old phone, you may need to upgrade your phone and stuff like that. And then you just simply open the show on your other devices as if you were a viewer. So you don't go live from the other devices, you only go live from the one that you're going to stream from. And then you open the app on the other device and go into the show as if you were a viewer. So it's that simple. You do need to silence any other devices that you have. So the volume either needs to be turned off, or like on a computer, if you're using a laptop, there's that little sound symbol, and it's kind of mid-screen. You need to silence that. You need to silence the streaming phone as well, just so that if someone tries to call or text, people aren't hearing that. And then, like, this is an Android phone that I use. The phone I'm streaming from is an iPhone. And this phone, we have to silence it. So you click the, let's see, I think you click the three dots. Yeah, and see how the sound is like that. So then it won't echo. So that's what you have to do. All right, let's see. Crown says, how do you get more buyers in and holding them in the show? Also, sometimes I feel like my personality is too much for some. How do I deal with that? I try to tailor it down, but then I feel like I'm not being my true self. All right, so let's talk about that. I'm going to pin this document right here. And first of all, before I go through this one that I just pinned, let's talk about, I think it's really, really important to be yourself, to be, to just allow yourself to be your natural self and not try to fake anything or put on a act or anything, because that will not be, that people will pick up on that. And it's annoying if you're trying to, put on a show, so to speak. But you do need to work on things to help, improve, your production, how you come across to people, how maybe some of the things that you think, but you would be surprised at what you think and what is reality. So you need to get some feedback from trusted sources. So have some friends or family come into your shows, maybe not close family because they can be brutal. But you know what I mean? Have some trusted people come into your shows and give you feedback on all those kinds of things and give you some tips of maybe things you could do a little bit differently. But you do need to be yourself. So, it's important to be, just who you are. And everybody has different types of people, different types of shows that they enjoy being in. Some people like the loud, pushy kinds of shows. Some people don't. Some people like a really fast paced, exciting, keep the chat going type shows. And some people like it to be a little bit more laid back. And so everybody can have a different vibe. I will tell you that it does make a big difference if you are willing to, kind of up your game and be more, I don't know, how do I put this? If you have the personality where you can go live, be in front of the camera, be vibrant and all of that stuff, it really does make a difference because it is, a production. But it doesn't necessarily mean you can't be successful if you can't do that. It's not everybody has the personality, the ability, the talents that, some people do. And that's okay. So that's kind of my 2 cents about that. But let's go over this. Let's see. Rusty Hinge, pull down from the top and turn the main speaker to vibrate or off. Is what I do on my Android. Oh, were you commenting on that thing that I was talking about, silencing? Yeah. Um, Having family in the room helps you to be yourself. That's true. That's true. All right. 5 F's for attracting and keeping people in your show. Also, go rewatch the last month's community show that'll be on my YouTube. My YouTube is in the show notes. So you go to my YouTube channel, go to the lives. If you weren't in last month's community show, we talked specifically about brainstorming some ideas to, really help you get people in your shows and keep them in your shows. Okay. So the 5 F's. This is not meant to be like, do exactly this. What this is meant to do is help you think about things that you can do to improve your show process. So the number one thing is have fun. If you aren't enjoying doing this, you don't enjoy the stuff that you sell, and you're not passionate about it, it's going to come through. And because this platform is just as much about social media and interaction and community as it is about selling, people are coming here to watch shows instead of going and watching their favorite TV show or going on other social media platforms. So think about it that way. They're coming here to be entertained. So, what do you need to do differently so that people want to stay in your shows? So, if your mindset is, I'm only here to sell a few things, maybe this isn't the platform for you, because we come here because of entertainment value as much as we come for buying. Okay. Your shows need to be fun. It doesn't have to be a 3 ring circus. It just needs to be enjoyable enough that people want to come and stay there. And if your show environment is not going to produce that for at least some people who find you interesting and fun, then you're not going to ever get a big audience. So there's got to be some reason that they want to come to your show instead of someone else's show. So what can you do to find and keep and attract those people that are like-minded, that enjoy spending time with you? Part of that is you're going to need to start sharing yourself. Now, I don't mean dump your crap. I mean, what are you interested in? What do you make? What kind of things have you done in your life that people would find interesting and that they would be able to connect with? You have to start making connections so that people enjoy coming to your show because they are like minded, like experienced, enjoy talking with you and sharing with you the things that you have, that you've made, that you've done. There needs to be a connection. So Snappy is in the room. Thank you so much for the raid. So Snappy, let me pull your profile up. How are you this morning? So Snappy is an awesome fun seller. Here is her profile. Make sure you're following her. And her next show is today at 6:45. She's doing one of her fun shows that certain people like, certain people don't, and that's okay. So she has some fun fabrics that are a little bit edgy, and she warns you, and you don't go in unless you like that kind of stuff. Your granddaughter's headed over. Oh, are you just having a blast with yours? I'm having so much fun with my granddaughter. It's the best life. Grandma life is the best. I had mine yesterday. So, yeah. All right. So make sure you bookmark her upcoming show if you're into that. And if not, bookmark the other shows because she also has other awesome, amazing stuff. All right. So, fun. What can you do to make your shows more fun, interesting. People want to come, they want to be there. They like you, they like what you do, they like what you share, they like your merchandise. You've got to come up with reasons for people to want to come to your show. You're going to have to brainstorm it. I can't tell you the answers to that. The next F on here, yes, I'm in baby love too. And I'm like, dang it, they grow up too fast. So I'm hoping my son and daughter-in-law will have another one. And that my other son will have one. My daughter just is 19. She's not ready yet. That's fine. But soon enough. All right. Yeah. Grandma life is the best. It makes it worth all the stuff that you had to go through to raise those kids. Your gift is grandkids. So, yeah. All right. So, the next thing is fast pace on the DRAS 5Fs. Okay, so what does that mean? It depends on what you're comfortable with, but let me tell you that shows that drag, people leave. So if you need to get yourself more organized so that you can go at a faster pace, do what you have to do, because people like a good clip where they're seeing something new very regularly. If it's dragging and there's lots of empty time, or you take too long to move to the next item, people will leave. So you've got to have a good, clip, because let's face it, we have the attention span of gnats these days because of how technology and social media work. We're like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel every 5 seconds. So you've got to keep people interested by having, things move at a good pace. So Field Trip says, I did a reset in my selling space and it went so much faster that I was cutting fabric until 11:30. Yeah, that's a good problem to have, right? Because if you can sell faster, you're going to make more money in the same amount of time. So organize yourself. People like a faster pace show most of the time. Doesn't have to be 5 second sudden death. It just needs to be whatever your audience likes, what you can manage to do, and, keep it interesting, keep it moving. Good morning, Dawn. How are you? All right. So the next one is findings. You've got to have the right merchandise that people want to see. It goes into both good stuff to sell, but also fun, because people need to be interested in what you're selling if they're going to want to be in your show. So you got to give them a good mix of stuff that they're going to want to keep coming back, because you always have good stuff. I don't know what your sourcing is. I don't know what you have, but you need to think that through and how that's going to work for helping people want to stay and come to your shows. So you may love it. You may be passionate about it, but if enough other people aren't, that's going to be a problem. You do need to keep on top of what's trending, what people want to have. Pay attention to what people are asking for in your shows. You might even want to have a piece of paper and pen handy to write it down. What are people looking for when they come into your shows, so you can remember and find those types of things or source those types of things. Okay. The next thing on here is fulfillment. So no matter how fun, fast, and great stuff you have, if you can't provide good customer service by shipping things quickly and nicely, and then, if anything goes wrong, own up to it or help them out, everything's going to come crashing down. So you've got to be able to, do good customer service and fulfill your orders quickly. And then the last F on here is frequency. You've got to be here regularly or you get forgotten. That's just the truth. If you're not here often enough, then people just kind of move on to someone else. So you've got to be here enough that people put you as part of their regular schedule because they like to be in your shows. That right there, those 5 F's are kind of the model for success if you want to grow and be consistent and, have consistent growth. And again, these are not a exact do exactly this. This is brainstorm what you need to do in these 5 categories to improve your shows, improve your process. So Dawn says, I struggle with that one. The frequency. Yeah. And some people can only have a show once or twice a week or even less just because life is busy. And that's okay as long as you have a consistent schedule that people will remember and come because you're on once or twice a week and you do a great show. That's okay. It just means that your growth is going to be a little bit slower because you can't be on as often. So, just keep that in mind. Don't beat yourself up if all you can do is that and you're not growing as fast as you would like to. That's just the reality of, because other sellers who go live every day are definitely going to have an advantage over you for growth and how quickly they grow their following, grow their sales, grow their whole business because they're on here every stinking day, right? If you can't do that, it's okay. It just, you have a different, you have a different life, you have a different setup, and that's okay. And if you want to change it, then you just have to do what it takes to change it and make it happen. You decide. You get to decide. That's the beauty of this platform. There's room for you know, every type of seller, every type of ability, every type of how much you want to go on. You know, just don't expect that you're going to be, the number one seller on the platform if you can only go live once a week. So, be realistic about what you can and can't do and don't beat yourself up over the things you can't do. So, you decide. Is 3 times a week for 1 or 2 hours a good selling period? Well, yeah. I mean, the thing with it is consistency. So, 3 times a week is a pretty good setup, because you're there frequently enough. And if people know that you're on, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or whatever it is, and you have a pretty consistent schedule, then that will just start being in their brain if they like to come to your shows. And they'll have them bookmarked and they'll remember, oh, Dory is on. So have a consistent schedule for whatever it is that you can do. Okay. And again, don't beat yourself up. Just, some people have everything, the stars align for some people. Why? Because maybe they are, in a position to be able to just hit the road running and they start doing whatnot. And within 6 months, they're like on top of the world. But it's because everything aligns for them to make it work. That's not the case for everybody. Don't beat yourself up if it isn't. Should you do consistent schedule at first before you do like a weekend pop-up? Well, you can do pop-ups anytime, and I would encourage those when you can, because it helps you to discover if maybe a different time or day is actually better. Because you just have to experiment, especially when you're new. You have to be flexible and kind of experiment with what works for you and try different times, try different setups, try different things to kind of find your happy place, if that makes sense. Because you just don't know when you first start selling how everything's going to go, what's going to work, what you're going to be happy with, what people like about you, what they don't like about you. You've got to do a lot of discovery. There's a lot of ups and downs of trying to figure out the zone that's going to work for you. So, try lots of different things that, just, and don't get in a rut. If you have a consistent schedule, but it's not working, mix it up, figure out what's going to work better. You know, there's a lot of new sellers find success going on really late, really early. You know, maybe it's better to not be on during certain times when other sellers on. Maybe it is better for you to be on during that time. You've just got to experiment with it and figure out what's going to work for you. So, and don't be afraid to to do that. Just do a pop-up and see how it goes, or put something on your schedule that's different than everything else and have it on there for a while and then try it and see what works. Do lots of different things when you're new to try and figure out what's going to work best. And here's the other thing too. If you don't have a lot of flexibility because you've got to go live at this time on this day, because that's the time that you have to dedicate to that show, then that's okay. Just be consistent with it and do it, because you really do need to have enough time to get it ready, go live, stay live for at least 2 or 3 hours to make it work. And then you need to have time to ship that show. You really should be shipping almost immediately after the show, or, as soon as possible, because then it's a whole process. You go live, you do your show, you ship your show. And if you don't have time for that, maybe if you do really early or really late shows, maybe it's the very first thing the next morning. But, you know, have that block of time set aside so you can do the whole process start to finish so that you're set up for success. Field Trip says, I have to schedule around my own life too. Like, when will I be able to ship and get to the post office with my son's activities also? Yeah, exactly. So sit down and really, plan it out. And, you're going to have a much more success if your process fits within what you can do in your life. If you're kicking against the pricks trying to make it work and it's just not working because you get too many interruptions, or you're too stressed out when you go live, or you just don't have time after you go live to get it shipped, and then it's days later and you're still not finished, then you need to reconfigure what you're doing, because that's just not going to work. Jade Doll says, I want to start selling, but only to sell a large personal collection of wool fabric. Any tips for such a specific product line? Well, first of all, start talking about it like you're doing right now. And then if you go ahead and get approved to sell, get a bunch of shows in there and advertise the heck out of it that you're doing wool. So make sure everything about your thumbnail, your title, information in your profile is like, I'm all about wool. And make sure people know also go ahead and get some listings in there so that they can kind of see what kinds of stuff you have. Is it felted wool or is it just wool that they can buy to make things like regular unfelted wool? So make sure it's really specific what types you have. Do you have yardage on bolts or is it just small pieces? Really make sure they know. And then you're going to get the people who want wool. Wool is not something we have plentifully here on the platform so far. There's a little bit here and there. So I think people would be excited to see that, but you're going to want to have it out there for a couple of weeks for them to anticipate your first show. So, yeah. So just really advertise it. Also advertise it on all your social media and go into other people's shows, and any opportunity you have to, share that you're going to do a show, so that people know it's coming up. So yeah. And it might not even hurt to, buy a chance to, not as an expensive chance, but some of the bigger sellers will let you buy a chance to promote, and then you can share that you're going to be doing it. But don't spend a lot of money on that. All right. So that's that's my suggestions for that. Let's see. Rusty Hinge says I run Thursdays at 2 p.m., ship on Friday. Shipping is important to get done. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, or sell it on a different platform to save on fees. If it's a one and done, you're going to sell your wool and be done. You might want to do it, on a different platform. It might be even easier to sell it just through like Facebook Marketplace in bulk if you don't want to slowly sell it. So it just depends on your what you're trying to do. Vintage Chick says, trust if new seller needs time, though. What do you mean by that? Trust if new seller needs time. Yeah, start getting followers now. So come into shows like this, interact with everybody, start getting people to follow you and interact with you. And so speaking of that, I just followed you. Okay. So it's fine. Yeah. Oh, not everyone trusts a new seller for quality control. Yeah. So you definitely have to build trust. And you get found out fast, if you go live and start selling and people aren't getting their shipments sent, they're gonna start coming and they're gonna start messaging you. And then if you don't respond, they're gonna come into your shows and say, hey, where's my order? So bad reviews, people coming into your shows, you can get shut down really fast. So yeah, you've got to be on top of things. You've got to provide good customer service, and people are not tolerant for long of people who aren't honest. So yeah, it's important. Rusty Hinge said it's hard to sell items if you don't have a big following. You have to price items right or they'll sell for what you place them at. You need bidders. Yes, absolutely. When you're new, put your starting bid at the price you're willing to sell it for. Do your research and make sure your pricing isn't ridiculous, but price it at what you're willing to sell it for. And I would imagine that if you're here wanting to get rid of stuff, it should be a pretty good price. Even if you're ultimately losing money, you're getting back something, right? Because everything has what you think it's worth or what you look up and see it's selling for somewhere else. But the price is what people are willing to pay, period. That is the price. The price of the items that you have is the price people are willing to pay. So you put it at the price you're willing to sell it at, And if people will buy it, that's the price. And then if you get a big enough audience and more than one person wants it, you only need two people that both want it to get some additional bits, right? So, yeah, and you can't, you will have people that will come in and pressure you to lower your prices, but you can't, you're in charge of your show. You don't have to be rude about it, but you can say that's what I'm willing to sell it for, you know. Be the boss of your own show. Just because someone else does dollar starts doesn't mean that you have to do dollar starts. You're a new seller. Don't let people bully you into thinking that you have to do it. Be in charge, and just ignore stuff like that. Or, because people that are pushy like that will just leave if they know you're not going to bend. Yeah. So don't get pushed around. Hey, like it, swipe it. How are you? Yes, exactly. Just say you have a business model and stick to it. I agree with that. So, yep. Because if they really want what you have, they'll swallow it and buy it. Especially if you have a reasonable price and it's a good item and they want it. So, yeah, don't get pressured. Let's see. I've learned buttered sausage. What a cute name. I've learned that networking for a few weeks and interacting in chat, getting followers and friends on Whatnot truly helps when you first go live. Yes, absolutely. That will make all the difference in the world because people have seen you. You've been in other people's shows, you've interacted, you've bought a few things here and there, and you're a known person now. And people will be, and you can start, sharing that you're going to have a first show and people will bookmark it for you. People are really nice on here for the most part. We have a few bugaboos. Every platform does. And other than that, most people are super nice, super kind, will come and support you. So yeah, networking is huge. So go out and definitely network. You've never witnessed it before last night. Yeah. You'll see a little bit of everything on here. Trust me. If you've been around long enough and you go to a lot of shows, you'll see everything. So it'll be like, holy cow. Like the other day when I raided into a lady who twerked after my raid because that's her thing. I was like, how in the heck? I mean, I've always tell people, be careful who you raid. And I had it happen to me. So it happens to everybody. Yeah. So yeah, don't be like that and pressure people to lower their prices. So yeah. All right. So hopefully that gave you some ideas. Let me share. Oh, you just saw it happen this morning? Someone else twerking in their show? Legit? Or you saw someone getting pressured in their show? Oh, pressure. Okay. Yeah. That happens quite a bit. You'll have someone in chat just being like, hey, are you willing, you should do this, or that, because they'll try to get people to, do lower prices or sell something or do a bundle or whatever. Yeah. You'll stop working. Okay. It just was not expected. Because I raided into a lady was supposedly doing a community show and it was not that at all. So yeah. Don't have items behind you that are sold, not for sale or for another show. Yes, that's a good tip. If you have things around you, make sure it's stuff you're willing to sell if people can see it. I try to keep things that are for a different show out of sight, but I will say definitely do have things around you that are for sale, that are enticing, that people will ask for, because that's one of the mistakes I think happens in the fabric category is people just zone in on the one thing they're selling, and they need to back up a little bit and have a periphery and have some enticing stuff in view that people will ask for so that you can sell more. Because if the only thing they see is the one item, I'll be honest with you, it gets a little bit boring. So you need to have the fringe that people want to see what's coming up and see what else you're going to have in that show. So if you're the kind of seller who doesn't show your face and everything's just right in front of you, back up just a little bit and have some enticing fringe, because you'll sell a lot more if people can see what's coming up or see some things they can request. Okay. So back up a little bit and have more for them to see. Because we're all visual too, right? We want to see what else is coming up. So Field Trip says my new table setup did that. I've been using my ironing board this whole time and it didn't allow a view. New table, game changer. Yes. Yes. Yay. So please do that. That was one of my tips last month. I'm like, back it up a little bit, show people some more stuff, show what's coming up. If you're not in front of the camera and don't have a setup like It Swipe It does, or like I have, it's okay. It's just that you need to show a little bit more. So yeah. Okay, so here's one of my little exercises that I tell everybody to do. It really will help you. So go out onto Whatnot Land and find 10 shows in whatever category you want that you've never been into, ever, ever, ever. And you can do more than 10. 10's just kind of a, make sense kind of number. It's enough, but not too much. 10 shows you've never been in. Write down on a piece of paper. If you want, write their username so you can remember to go back. But write down why I wanted to stay or why I wanted to leave, or some of both. Maybe there's some things that made you want to stay, some things that made you want to leave. Okay. So write it down for 10 different shows you've never, ever been in. And you're putting on your buyer hat. Why did I want to stay? Why did I want to leave? You're going to get some mind-blowing insights about what you need to do differently so that you have people wanting to stay in your shows. And then after you've done that, go to the shows that you love to go to, that you're always in, that you always find yourself in, and write down the same things. Why do I want to stay? What are the things they're doing that make you want to stay? Okay. Go do that, and you're going to get some really good brainstorming insight about what you need to do differently in your shows to improve your process. Okay. Yeah, it is a good homework assignment. If you have to take your credit card out of the thing, out of your wallet for that exercise, I give you permission to do that too, because, it is a dangerous assignment in some ways, but yeah. So, yep, do it. It will help you figure out what you can do differently. And it's really important to write things down. Write down, if you haven't started selling yet, write down why you're here, why you want to sell on this platform, and what your goals are. What's my goal? Like the lady who wants to sell her wool. Hey, Faye West, welcome in. How are you this morning? If your goal is just, I want to get rid of this pile of wool, then that's your goal. That's my goal. And what do you need to do to achieve that goal? How are you going to organize it? How are you going to set it up? What are you going to do to get that stuff sold? Maybe your goal is, I am lonely I need to be on here selling, at least 3 times a week so that I have a life. I'll be honest with you, we have sellers that is why they're here selling. And you know what? We love them and we welcome them. And I'm so happy they're here because they now have a life, they have friends, they have a reason to get up in the morning. They enjoy what they do, they buy a little, they sell a little, and their life is much richer because of it. Don't discount that part of this platform. The original intent of this platform was so that people could come and sell the items that they love and interact with other people while doing it. Have they achieved that? Heck yes, to an extent they never even imagined. It really does help people. It helps them change their lives, gives them purpose, gives them some income, makes a big difference for people. So don't discount that. Yeah. Okay. Now, not everybody needs that aspect of it wholly or as fully as they thought. But I will tell you that I never expected that to the extent that I have. Yes, I have so many new friends from here too. I mean, people that I literally have never met, but feel like they are part of my extended family now. Yep. It's huge. And boy, did we need that after COVID, right? Because we all kind of got disconnected from our neighbors and friends and our social lives. And we needed something to kind of get us back on track, right? So, yeah, go out into other people's shows, make your shows a place where people want to come and be and visit and learn about you and learn the things that they have in common with you. And you share, a little bit about your struggles and your life without, you don't want to get too detailed and too open, but, people can learn things like I'm a cancer survivor. People can learn things like I've been through, a divorce and I've been through this and I've been through that. And people find things that they have in common with you and they want to be part of your experience here and back and forth, and it lifts people up. That's another thing, too. Lift people up. Be nice. Be a good human being. Make your shows a place people want to be where they're going to feel good after they've been in your show, right? Yes, Tara is an open book. We're going to know how she likes her eggs before it's over. And that's great. That's great. We find common things about each other and we enjoy spending time in addition to selling. So Butter says, as a dude that crochets and knits, it's weird talking about that to your dude friends because it's not a dude thing usually, but with Whatnot, yes. Trust me, you're going to become the most popular dude knitter and crocheter if you do this right. People will come hang out with you to buy your creations, buy your yarn, and show people what you make for sure. Okay? Yeah, because you can find some other people who love what you do, who are passionate about it like you are, that you don't necessarily get in your immediate community because, there's just not enough people around you necessarily who get you. You can find the people here that get you, and it's a beautiful thing. And you can find some people who maybe didn't necessarily know that they wanted to get you, if you know what I mean. I've made some amazing friends that in real life, if they were my neighbor, I probably would not have talked to them because we would maybe feel like we had too many things different. But that's the other beautiful thing about this platform is you get to know people and all of those differences kind of melt away because we actually find out that we have a lot more in common than we have different. That's going to kind of blow your mind too. Because really we do have a lot more in common than we have different. And even though the media would like you to believe that we all hate each other most of the time, right? We don't. We don't. Yep. So, yeah, share the love, be happy, be positive, make those connections, and, make people more aware of put all those hostile things that everybody tries to tell you matter, put those aside and let's enjoy being together, enjoy this process, enjoy the fact that we get to work from home and sell things that we're passionate about. So I was visiting another seller in my local area yesterday, and I said that to her. I'm like, isn't this the greatest life? I mean, I have to pinch myself sometimes. Now, those of you who aren't doing this full time, if that's your goal eventually, and you want that, make it happen. Because let me tell you, even though it's work, it's hard work. I work my butt off. It is a lot of hard work, but I pinch myself every day that I get to come on here and talk to people and share what I'm passionate about and make money doing it. Holy crap, it's so much fun. And reselling on other platforms was kind of sort of that way too, but this brings it to a level that I never knew that I was going to be like, this is so freaking awesome, right? You get to, yeah, the Aaron sphere needs to come in, right? Because he's that way. It's just so much fun to be here and be able to share and collaborate and enjoy each other and all of that stuff, especially if you're in a situation where you don't get a lot of that in your own little environment. I am so blessed to have not just Whatnot community. I have family close, I have friends close, I have a real community around me too. And so I'm not as connected as some sellers just because I do have a life outside of Whatnot. But there's some people that this is their life, this is who they hang with. They don't have family. They don't have a close community. They don't have a network. And this becomes a lot of that. So, you know, I have to balance it because I have, a granddaughter, a son, and a daughter-in-law, and another daughter close. I have extended family close. All my siblings live within, a 2-hour drive. We try to get together a reasonable amount of times. We love each other, so I'm very, very, very blessed, but in that way too. But, I also love my Whatnot family. So, yeah, you're just now starting to try the balance thing. Yeah. Yeah. Do be careful not to, um, get so wrapped up in Whatnot that it hurts your reality. That's the other thing too. You do need to find balance. If you have kids, if you have spouses, if you have siblings that you need to maintain relationships with, make sure Whatnot is not so consuming that you're neglecting those others. Find a balance, but you can make room for both. So Yeah, that is important. That's important. Yeah, I'm pretty consumed too, but I have the time because we're empty nesters now. So as long as I make sure and have the time when my kids and my granddaughter and everybody else are available, then I'm okay. So that's why I said have a balance. Let's see. In one of my first shows, I had a lady message me and she said she cried through my whole show because I reminded her of her mom. Oh, isn't that heartbreaking? But at the same time, she'll probably be back because that will be, a connection. Her heartbreak will get over a little bit and she'll be like, I love to be with you because you remind me of my mom. I love that. That's a connection that she's made. Yeah. Yeah, she's come back. Exactly. And it'll get easier and she won't cry as much and she'll just enjoy spending that time with you. Make those connections. Share enough about yourself slowly that people make that connection with you. If you don't share anything and you're just all business, it's not going to be as, people need some warm fuzzies to want to keep coming back. So, and sometimes, I'm weird because sometimes I get a little bit too warm and fuzzy. Um, and I cry at everything. I'm a crier. I'm not super ugly crier, but I do cry. I get emotional about things. And but it makes a connection. It makes a connection because people enjoy hearing that they're not the only one that has this or that or whatever in their life. And you're like, wow. And we need that. We need to feel like we're not alone in our struggles. Everybody's life is hard. If you think that if you see someone, you're like, man, their life is such a breeze. I wish I had their life. Trust me. Trust me, there's some skeletons. Trust me, there's some heartache. Trust me, they're putting on a good face. Everybody has struggles. Everybody has problems. Everybody has hard things in their lives. It's by design. It is what it is. And it makes it easier when we can go through life recognizing that we're not alone, that we can lift each other up, that we can help each other. And that's what's so awesome about this platform. So be nice, be kind, share about yourself, make those connections, and it's going to make your shows so much richer, because everyone will learn about you, want to share, want to be around you because you're real. You're real. So be real. Yep. Okay. Was that a good motivational talk? Do we all feel um, like we can take on the day? So, yeah, if you have questions about anything that you need technical help with or other things, ask away. I'm checking to see if I missed anything. Um, let's see. Crown says I traded. Oh, I read through those. Yeah. So, yeah. There's lots of things I can help you with. Make sure you take a screenshot of my show notes. There's all those starred bullets in there that are the official places you can go to get help. Please rely on those heavily. Whatnot puts a lot of time and money into trying to make sure you get all the information you need. And, it's just like I tell people, if you get a new bicycle and you have the instruction manual and you don't follow it first, then probably you're going to make a lot of mistakes trying to put that bicycle together. So read the instructions, and then if the instructions are, clearly written by someone in China who didn't know how to translate correctly, which happens sometimes, then go watch the YouTube video. Okay. So go to the official sources first, then come and ask all the questions for the additional details of what you need help with so that you get the most accurate information. Be careful about where you take advice from. Everybody and their dog can be out there sharing information. When you get advice about shipping, when you get advice about how to run your shows, make sure it's from someone who's reputable. Make sure it's from someone who sells similar stuff. Shipping is based on what you sell. So you can have someone who sells one thing telling everybody, oh, you should do this for your shipping. And then you're like, well, wait, that's not going to work for me because I sell something completely different. So, yeah. Endless Treasure Jenny says, random question. You seem consistent on making TikTok videos, which I love. Do you have a strategy for staying on top of that? Not a huge strategy. I think it's important to have something out there. And I love TikTok because TikTok makes it super easy to put together a cute video with a music and a title. And so I just make videos and then I throw them into TikTok, and then it automatically downloads it to put everywhere else that you want to put it. So that's why I use it. I honestly do not love TikTok. It kind of drives me crazy, but I love that aspect of it. I love that it makes it easy to make cute, fun videos with a little clip. And what I try to do is show what I'm selling that day, because I think it's important for people to see in advance of your show as much as possible. My advice is 24 hours. My life's been so busy lately. If I manage to get it on there a few hours before, that still helps. So if you can get your show set up 24 hours in advance and put a video on there, it will make a big difference. You will get a ton more bookmarks because people will see what you're going to have in the show. You'll have a cute little video clip, showing the stuff you're going to sell. And shows where I have that on there before, it really does make a difference in how many people will bookmark it and come in. So, yeah. I just use TikTok. I just film a little video and then I throw it into TikTok, put music on it, put words on it, and boom. I just don't have time for really fancy stuff. And so I do what works, what I can do quickly. So that's what works for me. But I do think using social media is huge. I multicast when I go live. I multicast onto both YouTube and Facebook. And Facebook gives me the most traction, but YouTube saves it. And then YouTube is like the place that I get just a constant, regular flow of little bits of people finding me because it's saved. Facebook, I get more traction just because I have more followers on Facebook. How do you add words and music to your videos on TikTok? TikTok does it for you. So you just pull a video into TikTok and you can put music on it and a title. So, yeah. And then I use Canva, Canva, for my thumbnails and to create some other images and stuff for my listings. I like Canva. Canva doesn't do as fancy of thumbnails as some of the other ones, but I like Canva because you can edit. If it creates one for you that you don't love or it has mistakes in it, you can fix it. So I really like Canva, and they keep improving their AI image generator. So it's compared to what it was a year ago, it's night and day. So they keep improving it. So that's exciting. I'm thinking that since our category is exploding, social media is a good way to help. Yes, it really does help. I don't want to give any of them more data, catch 22 with modern media. Yeah. Yeah. So you just have to find a balance of what works, what is easier for you to use. Jane loves Canva too. Yeah, I found it the easiest to work with. You have a question about coupons. Shoot. Coupons. They could do a lot to improve that on Whatnot, honestly. It's very rudimentary. I do pay for Canva. It's been worth it. Because there is a free version that gives you limited stuff, but paying for it opens up, to where you can just do about anything. It's amazing. So, and it's not all that expensive, I feel like. Yeah. The reward system is hard to figure out. It can be, I would say, make it simple. Make it simple and make it so that most people can get to the higher levels. So don't overdo, do a lower value more frequently and make it easy for them to be able to climb. If I make a coupon for a customer and send them a code in their package, can I set it to use only once? Yes. The way that you do that is you only put it on one show because coupons are attached to shows. So you will have to tell them this will be valid in this show only. And then it is a one-time use coupon because they have to use it in that show. Now, if you want to give them more flexibility of the show they use it in, you'd have to add that coupon code to multiple shows, for a little while out so they have a chance to come and use it. So yeah, that does make it a little bit hard if you move your show around, but that's how the coupons work. And that's why I would say there's definitely room for improvement about how coupons work. But yeah. Jean's City Stash Fabric was telling me that she's had really good success with the new purchaser coupon. So putting it in her show notes, if you're new, here's a coupon code you can use. And she's had pretty good success with people using it. I tried it once for a little while and I was like, no one even bothered using it. So I was like, oh, so I stopped, but maybe I'll try it again. Putting a code in your show notes that is for new buyers only. Because one of the things they have on coupons is you can set it for everyone or for new buyers only. And it helps you to kind of track how many times people use it. And it's just there for new buyers. So, yeah. Yeah, you can definitely do that, but then you would need to put it on for, the next X number of shows so it's there for people to use. How do you make sure only new people? Well, because the coupon settings allow you to choose whether it's available for everyone or only for new buyers. Yeah. So you can just set it as a new buyer only coupon. And then only someone who's never purchased from you before is able to use it. Because it detects, oh, this isn't a new customer and it won't let them use it. Yeah. Yep. So, but I think that's one of the improvements hopefully they'll make. It's not high on the list, but hopefully they'll improve the whole coupon process because it would be nice to be able to give an individual a coupon and it ties it to that person instead of you having to tie it to a show. I would love that upgrade. So, that's definitely been requested. By the way, that reminds me, did anyone happen to notice if they did an update show yesterday on the Whatnot seller account? I was so busy yesterday, I forgot to check. When I looked to see if it was still on the schedule last time, it was still there. Does anyone know if they had it yesterday and what they talked about? If they did have it, they will post it on their YouTube channel, which is the second star bullet in my show notes. But I don't know if they actually had it. Does anyone know? Anyone know if they actually had that product update show on the Whatnot seller account yesterday? It was scheduled when I looked last week, and then I forgot about it, forgot to look, because they have been moving them. They haven't been having them in the last few months, so I wondered if they moved it again. All right, nobody knows. Okay, I'll have to ask around, see. If nobody knows, I'm guessing they probably did not have it. Let's go look at that account and see what's on the schedule right now. So Whatnot. They've actually been so busy trying to get some stuff done. So the next thing on their schedule on there is they're doing a interview with Miami O'Clock, Christina, on the 11th. So that's on the schedule. Then they do have new product updates scheduled for 4/1. So maybe they didn't have one yesterday. I don't know. Yes, gift cards are definitely on the docket as something they are actively working on. I do know that for a fact. They have some roadblocks with gift cards. There's certain things that make it difficult for them to get it all set up, but they are working on it. So we all want gift cards. I would much rather give away Whatnot credit than, Starbucks gift cards or Amazon gift cards or whatever. I want that money to stay on the platform. So it would be amazing to be able to give people Whatnot gift cards or credits. So that's definitely on the docket. Yeah. All right. So yeah, if anyone finds out if they actually had an update, show yesterday, let me know. Let's see. Why can't gift credit cards work on Whatnot? They can. It's just that they're trying to get it all set up so that you can do, credits. You see some buyers using Whatnot credits for purchases. How does that work? That means that they referred people through some kind of link, because anyone can share your link for credit in your account. So they're sharing their link and people are signing up through their account, and then you get a $5 credit for everyone that signs up and buys something. So that's why you see that. So that's a little bit different. But it would work the same way if, as sellers, we could give credit as a giveaway instead of something else. Yeah. So I think that's how most sellers would like to use it, is to give. I would like it if I could give away Whatnot credits. And then, of course, the hope would be that they would come back and spend that credit with you. But even if they don't, it's staying on the platform and helping the platform grow. So that would be awesome, right? So yeah, but the ones that you see people using their credits, that is from them sharing their link. So on your profile, so when you go to your own profile into your account, See that little thing right there, referrals and credits. I don't have any. I've used all mine. But you just tap that and then you can copy the link and share it on social media and with your friends and family or whatever. And then if they sign up and they get $15 to spend, and also you get, once they complete a purchase, you get $5. So it's a good deal to use that. So make sure you're sharing that with your social media. Let's see. I have a vanilla MasterCard gift card that isn't working here. Yeah, those preloaded gift cards don't work a lot of places because the way they work, um, so you're going to have to probably use it somewhere that will take it, use it somewhere else. Because a lot of those prepaid gift cards don't work on a lot of online platforms. I'm not sure exactly what the process is and why, but a lot of platforms won't take them because of the fees or whatever. I don't know. But hey, City Stash is in the house. How are you this morning? Oh, you got it for using here? Yeah, so probably cash it out somewhere else. And they have been having a lot of issues with people's pay. We're getting so many new buyers and their payments are failing. I have had a lot of people tell me Venmo works pretty good, and so does PayPal. So, yeah. I want to do a how to be the best mod show with you. Can we do that? That would be fun. Just to bring everybody on that wants to mod and show them all the different settings and things they can do. Yeah, that would be fun. I put payment suggestions in my show notes now. Yeah. You almost have to, because otherwise it's like every fifth person has a payment fail and you have to stop in your show and say, go fix this and here's how to do it. And it's like, ugh. Yeah, so it's not a bad idea to put, what to do when your payment fails in your show notes so that you can just say, go read the show notes. Yeah. Yeah, that would be super fun. Message me. Let's set it up. We could just co-host and share all the different settings. And it wouldn't be a bad idea in that show to allow people to share if they want to moderate and make it so people can make some connections with other people, kind of like I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine, I'll mod for you, you mod for me kind of deal. Because I think a lot of people could get some benefit from having better moderators, more moderators, and then also helping them grow as a seller. Because when you moderate for people, people recognize your name and it can help you get a better following and help you as a seller if you have time to help moderate other people's shows. So, yeah. Do I give my mods anything? Oh, yeah. My mods get really good packages. That's how I reward my mods. And then, I do special things for them. But, I think it's different for everybody. Some people actually have private shows where they just invite moderators and let them, buy some things at a really steep discount or something, but I just love to, because most of my moderators were people who bought from me and they still continue to buy from me. And I just, they always get extra stuff, extra nice things. I save things I know they love and send it. So, yeah, that's what I do. But there are some mods that can be hired. Yeah. I don't know that I want to pay mods, but you definitely need to make sure they're taken care of because that's a lot of time. That's a lot of commitment to help your shows out to be successful if you can get some good moderators. So, yeah. And a lot of people, it really should be kind of organic, but it doesn't have to be. To what I mean by more organic is usually the people you ask to moderate for you are because there's someone that has come in and supported you and been a good buyer, and you can just tell they'll be responsible and you can trust them and so on and so on, and you moderate them. So yeah. So at mod crew. So that's an actual user, and let me go look to see what they say. So professional moderating service, message us here for details. Okay. So there's someone that's what they do. And they don't do their own shows. They're just paid moderators. Okay. Yeah. So if you feel like that would be worth it for you, go for it. Let's see. I volunteered recently to help a first show seller as a mod. I think I did a good job. I'm sure you did. And I'm sure she greatly appreciated it. It makes a big difference as a new seller to have someone in your show that you can ask questions, that can help you, that can help, um, you know, read the chat because it's very mind blowingly frustrating as a new seller to try and keep up with chat, especially if you get busy at all, and still run your show because you're just trying to focus on running the show. And some people are better about being able to keep up with chat than others. And I'm kind of mediocre at it. I think that between Bert and I, we catch most things, but I still like to have a moderator in there to, say stuff, to catch things that we miss. We're horrible with giveaways. Oh my gosh. I keep telling Bert, I'm like, what is our problem? We miss them. We always miss them. Like we run the giveaway and then we miss who won it and it makes us look stupid. So let's see. Most times we mod someone just because we want you all to have a badge, not expecting you to do anything. Well, yeah, that's true too. You know, modding someone is just a recognition that this is, one of our favorites, one of our people. They help us, they buy from us. It's a special star. So for that person in chat, and that's nice. You do need to be careful when you're first growing, to not disenfranchise other people if they feel like you're showing too much favoritism. It might disenfranchise some people, so try not to hurt people's feelings. If you have a smaller chat and you're like modding your favorites and they're like, and be careful that you're not doing a lot of back and forth chatting with your mods in hidden messages and people can tell and they feel left out. So, do be careful with stuff like that. Could be a suggestion to be able to make someone a VIP badge versus a mod. Yeah, I like that idea. So that way, instead of, just modding so many people, you can just give people VIP badges. The reward system sort of kind of does that a little bit, but that's based solely on them. Other than that first rewards level, that's based on buying. And you don't necessarily want people to feel like they have to buy to get recognition. Because, some people just can't afford it. And you still want them there. I still want all my friends in the room, even if they can't buy. So, yeah. Let's see. I had one person ask to mod, but I felt like she was only there to spy and gather intel. Now she's a new seller. Oh, yeah. Could be a suggestion. Oh, I read that one. Let's see. Yes, but they can't see anything as mod. Is a mod, not an admin. Yeah. Yeah, the only thing they can do is just, I mean, they can see everything anyone else can see, and then the only thing they can do that's different is kick someone out of the show, if something happens, and they can send hidden messages. But really, there's not much they can see. Yeah. Yeah, you can make someone an admin. That's different. That means that that's someone that you work with. If you're a big enough seller and you need to have other people that are able to, add, delete, change prices, that kind of stuff, that's different than moderator. Yeah. Yeah, they are a bouncer. Exactly. They're the bully at the door, making sure you don't have weirdos. You had a couple of weirdos in your show yesterday. Gene City Stash had a couple of weirdos in the show yesterday. We were all like, what? Okay. We don't get as many in our category, thank goodness. Because I feel bad. I do feel for people in some categories, because there are categories you go in there and there's like a lot of weirdos in chat saying all kinds of crap, and they probably have to kick people out all the time and block people, and I'm like, thank goodness we don't have as much of that. But we've had a few. So let's see. I gave Kelly Gore complete access to my account. She runs my show from California while I'm in Tennessee. So there you go. Yeah. But that's even different if they're just in the account. That's funny. My moderator phone, Bert, just became the first level. That's one of the things I don't like about when we start a new reward season is everybody gets, achieves their first level when they watched certain number of shows. And it's just kind of funny because it pops up. Anyway. Let's see. I heard there was an issue with someone deliberately putting in a $4 price as a custom bid. $4 price as a custom bid. Someone swiped. They lost $4K. Deliberately putting in a $4 price as a custom bid. That's not computing in my brain. Oh, $4,000 custom bid. Someone swiped, they lost $4K. Well, usually those when that happens, usually that just gets canceled. So I don't know. Because if it wasn't an intentional, because every once in a while someone accidentally puts an extra zero on a custom bid or something. And then there are weirdos who do it intentionally just for it to derail the whole show and have to get it canceled. I've seen that happen. So yeah. Oh, it was intentional. I would maybe put 2-2. There you go. No. Yeah, I'm not going to put 2-2-2. So, Because yeah, I would end up having to pay it. Safia said, hello, I just had my first show last night. When I set up a giveaway, how do you set it up correctly so I'm not charged a ton on shipping out a gift card? Okay, let me pin that for you. So you need to set up the envelope shipping. This is the document that shows you how to do that. Just tap it again, make it big, take a screenshot. I need to redo this. It's boring, yawn, but it gives you the basics. Let me tell you the 3 basic things you need to know. First of all, yes, congrats on first show. First thing you need to do is turn it on in your shipping settings. So you go to your seller hub and the little 3-line menu, go down to shipping settings. So here I am in my profile, shipping settings, and under domestic shipments, the very first thing in there is this USPS first class mail letter. You need to make sure that's toggled on. And then once you toggle that on, you need to scroll down and click this little box that says also apply to scheduled shows. Do that before you hit save. And then that will make sure that that setting is now in all of your shows. Okay. So that's the first thing you have to do. Second thing you need to do is when you enter your giveaway, you need to put it under the category of either sticker or trading card, whichever makes most sense. Those are the only 2 categories that allow you to use the envelope shipping. So sticker is found under arts and handmade, and trading card is under trading cards. And then the weight for that item needs to be 0 to 1 ounce. So those 3 things. Turn that setting on. Category needs to be sticker or trading card. And third, 0 to 1 ounce. Once you've set that up, every time you enter giveaways that way, it will do the 74-cent shipping. Okay. So, and it works beautifully once you set it up. But if you miss any of those 3 steps, it won't work. Okay. So yeah, take a screenshot of that thing that I just pinned, and it will work. Does that setting work for bin purchase outside of show? No. It charges regular shipping rates for bin purchases. So the only way to get the reduced shipping settings is to buy inside of shows. You may think that seems frustrating, but why would Whatnot do that? They want people in shows. Honestly, right? I mean, yes, do we have a marketplace? Can people come on and buy something? Hell yeah. But where's the money? Where's the money? The money is made in live shows because people will spend more if they come into live shows and keep seeing things they want to buy versus searching for something on a marketplace. Right? So, yeah, they want people in live shows. So, the shipping outside of live shows is just regular, basic, ground advantage or priority, depending on the weight. Yeah. Yep. All right, it's getting late. We had too much fun talking about all kinds of things. I need to go. Does anyone have any other pressing issues, things you need to talk about? City is doing a huge free shipping show. How can I maximize my shipping? Message me because you need help with shipping. I'll be honest with you. You guys need to do your shipping a little bit differently. So message me and we maybe need to talk it through. Because I don't think you guys have your settings set up the best way for how you're selling. I know that you anyway, message me and we can take a phone call. Yeah, you don't want to have $1,000 in shipping costs. So yeah, you need to do your shipping a little bit different. Yeah. So let's talk it through. Okay, if I change shipping to flat rate for one show, does it change my shipping for other shows? Not unless you click that little button at the bottom. And don't change your shipping in your main profile when you're just wanting to change it for that specific show. So open the show that you want to do differently. So you actually go into the show. So, like, for example, here's my show that I have scheduled for today. All right, I'm going to click that show and I'm going to click the three dots and I'm going to edit show. And then you're going to scroll down to the shipping settings in that show. And then I'm going to open them up and change the shipping settings inside that show so that it only applies to that show, and then update it. That way it's only on that show. That makes sense? All right. Yep. All right, you guys, I need to go. Let's go find someone to raid. I outlasted Bert at the gym. He just came in. Say hi, Bert.
Hi, Bert.
So he just got back from the gym. We need to get busy today. So I'm going to go find someone to raid. Let's go see who is live. Oh So Crafty has 2 people in her show. I think she's new. Let's go raid her. Here we go. Oh So Crafty. Give her some love. Thanks, you guys. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Come to my show today if you want Civil War and felted wool. That's what we're doing.